All right, from the studio in Fairfax City, we are very grateful that Alex Dittmar accepted our invitation to our show. Alex, welcome to my humble podcast.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
No problem. Let's go back to the beginning of your life. Were you born like in a musical family? I mean, how did you start with music to begin with?
Yes, my father and my mother have been music teachers at school, and but we had instruments at home. We had a piano and a harmonium. But as a child, I wasn't interested in playing in real instrument. I had interest in music, for especially for electronic music like Yellow, or Art of Noise, Depeche Mode, and something like that. And I'm sitting before in front of the radio and recorded all the things, all the music to my cassette tape.
Yeah.
Because we had in Eastern Germany, we don't had the possibility to buy music like that, but only the way to record it from the radio. So I that in the time I collected tapes and tapes and tapes, and but no idea to make my own music. And I had very much interest in electronics, and I built it in age of, I started maybe at 10 to build my own amplifiers, loudspeakers, and so on. And maybe a few years later, I built my synthesizers, and the music production was started. So, but the main point of my music career came when techno was found in the beginning of the 90s. I listened to radio, and techno and house was a completely new thing, and it fitted completely in the time. It was East and West Germany came together. It was like a revolution, a musical and a revolution of life. And I was flashed of the techno sound, and yes, I bought records, became a DJ, and we had one little club in my hometown. And yes, it became more and more, and I played as DJ. And a few years later, I switched more to live act.
Good for you. Good for you. And I noticed that I read on your bio that you not only you began from piano and keyboard, but play bass as well. Feel free to elaborate about why those instruments as opposed to another. For example, right in Germany, and especially Berlin, is well known from electronic music. Probably is the mother of electronic music. The Klaus Schulze, the Peter Baum, and the Tangerine Dream, and many others musicians that came out of your country. So, what was the motivation for you to add element of oscillation in your music, and then play the keyboard as well? What was the You know where you were after, or at the beginning you were kind of experimenting until you came across your own way of doing things?
Um, in the time, I became a little bit of bored by the electronic music scene.
Yeah,
and I have listened to much other musics in my home, and at home I don't listen techno. I listen to audiophile music or acoustic music, and um, my wish has been to play a real instrument.
I got it. Got it.
And I never have learned it, and I've bought a double bass. This was my first. We had a piano at home, but I don't play it. The first real instrument was a double bass, and because I liked it very much. It's most it's not it's, one of my favorite instruments. And yes, I've had the idea to play. It looks like easy to play, but it isn't. So I learned it by a teacher, and this was an age of 40, so about 10 years ago. So, and yes, it was first experiments. It was only for me. It's not for public or not for recording. And I put it together with my techno protrusions.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And yes, and the piano came to it, and I made more and more acoustic music, but just for me. It was not for. I don't had a plan to make an album or something like that. It was at the pandemic. It made all the clubs and techno scene was down.
Closed down, yeah.
Yes. And yes, I had a mind free for making, let's say, the neoclassic music. I don't like the word, but it's the genre of it. Yeah. And yes, I made music and sit down in front of the piano and played for me and recorded it. And yes, the recordings of these things I put together to my first album, the Cloud Code. And yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, the cloud coding more in detail. But so what's happening? You were producing electronic music for more than 20 years, and you were publishing under different names at the time before you. Sorry, stupid question, but why did you do that? Why you didn't want to say, well, this is my work. My name is Alex. Here's my music, whether you like it or not, as opposed to not putting out there or not releasing properly or not, put your name on it or your avatar or nickname, whatever. Why you did that, if you don't mind asking you? Because I'm quite sure it's very good music. I mean, it's not that somebody out of the pandemic, man, I want to be a musician, and you have 4 great albums, which are very good. So I wonder what happened to all the stuff you did between when you were 20 to 40, right? What is that music somewhere? It's
my techno music. Yes, it's completely different to my Nodfeld project.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
It's I had simply no time for it.
Okay, yeah.
The techno projects I have two, and we have been on tour every weekend.
Mm.
There was simply no time to make a sense to release and produce the other thing, my new thing.
Yeah, I got it. I understand. Because your first album, right? The Cloud Code album that was released in 2021.
Yes.
I think the idea of the album came in summer 2020. You were playing the piano by yourself, and start ideas began coming to your head, and you began, oh, I want to record this stuff, right? So that's a very good album, man.
Yes. Thanks.
So, what was the motivation now? Say, well, I want to release everything on the Nodfeld, and I want to create a great, go to a record label to properly release my music and properly record my music, and you put it there. So it's a very, very good album.
Thank you.
Yeah. What was the motivation for switching gears, and instead of publishing everything under different name and not taking advantage of your or your musical ability, you end up releasing that as under Nodfeld? What changed?
Um, yes, it's was my idea to have something new, and because it's completely different to my other techno and electronic music. Yes, this had to be. I don't know.
And then how was received
the music was ready, and I thought make a new project, make a new name, and yes, that's why.
You did. And how was received that in the market, the album?
Excuse me?
How was the album received in the market? I'm quite sure the people like this stuff, right? I mentioned where this guy is coming from.
Yes, they like it, but it's in fact no easy to release music under a new name, or you are start from zero. So about I have like that my fans from my other projects also like music of this kind. So it makes a little easier. And yes.
And there was the album, it was that particular album released on CD, vinyl. I know that all your work is in Bandcamp, so people can buy it or download, pay a fee and download WAV file, MP3 file, that sort of things, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's only on vinyl and digital.
Okay.
No CDs.
No CD. And then how are you doing in Bandcamp? You doing okay?
Yes. Bandcamp is a very good platform for this.
The kind of music, right? Because I think a Bandcamp take only 10%, the 90% go to the artist directly, which is as opposed to, I don't know, Spotify, you need to have like 1 million hits to get a check for $10 or something, right? So yeah,
if you earn $10, it's you have to have much of streams.
Yeah, to get $10. But as I say, the album it's very, very good. I really like it, and I think I heard somewhere that many of your inspiration came from artists such as Niels, Olafur, Jan. I know all these people. I have not interviewed them, but I know the music very well. So, especially the Neil Fran is kind of well known here in the United States as well.
Niels Fram was one of the main points to use the piano.
Yeah.
The piano sound what I had as or at home as child was simply a piano with all the case in front. It was not open, and I don't like the sound of instrument what's fitted in a box. I like the open and real sound, and especially the sound of Niels Fram. There I discovered something new. This was the Feld sound. Prepared it with Feld. It's in also here in my piano.
Yeah.
And you can hear the noises came from the hammers and the strings and all the noises usually not wanted, but I like it very much. It's more or less a new sound of the piano, and this was for me to make piano music.
How old is that piano? I think you bought it used and you end up fixing it and upgrading it and
This piano is a small piano from Denmark.
yeah.
It's from 1964, I think.
Wow.
It's 60 years old.
Yeah, or so, right. Wow. Good for you, man. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Maybe you look.
Yeah, but it sounds very, very good.
Yeah, yes.
And then I think I read somewhere that you end up, move your at least the setup in your studio. You need to arrange it to be more minimalist, if you will, set up just with piano, double bass, and
Yes, I like.
right? Yeah.
I like to reduce it on the main instruments. It's more inspiring to me to have only a few things. I put it a lot of gear out of my studio because I use it 1 or 2 times, and I don't need it and don't use it. So I think out of the piano you can do so much things. Not only play with the keys, you can put something on the strings with a brush or something like that. And that's also I used on the Oscillations album. There are many sounds not coming from the keys, but from making it with the fingers or with a brush.
Good for you, man. And then so I don't know, maybe like a year later, you end up releasing the Off album. And I think the meaning of off was that meaning that all the switches were off this time around, right?
Yes.
How feel free to elaborate how that off came together, and it took like a year from the Cloud Code to until you release Off. It's a very great album as well, man. I really like your music. It's very good. But the setup is different, right? You say, well, for Cloud Code, I want to do this, right?
Yes.
For Off, obviously, you want to do something different, which is great. What was the motivation? Why having all the switch it off, if you will?
Yes. Yes. It's maybe at Cloud Code I used all my things. As it was a piano, double bass, and electronics. In fact, it's only one synthesizer, is one Moog, and there was not many time between Cloud Code and Off, and I had a few of the tracks of the music made parallel of making the Cloud Code album. But I thought it's they have to fit together.
Yeah.
And there have been a few tracks. They only are good with simply no no electronics, also only piano and a little of double bass, and I wanted it acoustic.
Mhm.
That was my idea to have an album what not use electronics. The only electronic thing on the off album is one tape delay, and that's
Yeah.
all.
Okay, which is an example, and I think I read somewhere that you end up restoring your small piano a little bit, for to make it more personal and trying to go after the sound they were aiming for, right?
Yes, the piano is very old, and this makes some things not better.
Yeah.
For instance, the hammers getting more hard in from time to time, and this became a sound. It's a hard sound, and I doesn't like it. That's why I put all the things out. The keys. I removed all the things, all the hammers, all what's here, and yes, I made something new or give the hammers some of treatment to have a more warm and softer sound.
Good for you. It's an excellent album. And for the small piano, you repair yourself, or somebody need to go to your house and
Um,
a little bit, because it will be
yeah,
heavy to pick up.
I do the most of the things by myself.
Yeah.
I have one the tuning. I don't make my. I have a piano tuner. He comes 1 or 2 times a year and tunes the piano. And I asked him for make this piano more playable, more the sound what I like. But he haven't seen such a kind of piano. It's the small piano have the mechanics not in not up the piano. It's in the yes, below the keys.
Yeah. Good.
He has never seen this kind of piano and had idea what to do. So I made it by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Good for you, man. It sounded great. The
It's
sound.
it's not perfect, especially in the lower sections in the bass. It sounds not very good because it's too small. The strings are too short to have a really nice and deep sound. But on the right hand side, it's sounds very lovely and nice. And that's why in the Oscillations album, I made some different things. I had this piano and some things sounded not. I liked it. I need more bass, more warm, deep bass sound, and that's why, especially for got the golden piece of the album, I extended this one with an large concert grand piano. Not here in the room. I played it not here, but I the sound together. It's very nice, I think. Yes, and
I got it. And then you do all the recording there in that room when you are ready to release something, or
yes, the most of the recordings are doing
you
here.
record and then you do the mixing and somebody else do the mastering, or you do everything
Yes,
yourself?
all by myself.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
It's a completely one-man business. Doing the recordings, the mixing, mastering, artwork, label. Yeah, it's
A lot of work, right?
yeah, it's
Do you have another job during the day, or you pretty much out of music, or?
my main job is mastering engineer.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's why I have my own mastering studio and
Yeah.
my studio here. And yes,
And you can do mastering for other people as well, right?
yes, it's the most of the time I mastering for other labels, other artists.
Yeah.
And when I have time and have no much work, I go to my little
You don't
studio
think, right? Yeah.
and make my music.
And then for your music, was difficult to find a record label, or you create a record label and you release everything on your own and you?
I never searched for a record label.
Yeah.
I have because of my techno background, I have two other labels, and I have learned that when you have to really to make your ideas, it's better to you have your own label.
Sure, absolutely. No, it's you can.
I have not to produce music what the other label want, because you can do your own. And yes, it was for my other stuff. Yes, was good, and that's why I started with my own label. Maybe I look for something other labels in the future, but I don't know. Let's see.
So how it goes. Then this year, back in March 2024, you end up releasing Ren, which is an EP, right? It's a little bit different for the other one, but you mentioned that. Well, I tuned my own piano with all the imperfection and flaws, but 99% of what is coming out, I'm happy with, right? So why only an EP and not creating a full album?
Yes, it's this song. I thought it could be fit on my next album.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
and it was at the time the other tracks and other music pieces have been ready and was finished, and this one I thought it doesn't fit on the album. That's why I had more versions of this. I have this one version is different from the other, and I couldn't decide one of which one I use for an album. So that's why I made an EP. That's as starter for the album.
Yeah, got it. No, it's very good as well. And of course, your later album that was released a couple months ago in September 2024, Oscillation, which is an unbelievable album, man. I mean, you have connection between the natural world, electronic sound, electronic acoustic, and I think oscillation symbolizes the vibration or rhythms, and both in nature and music. feel free to elaborate how that album came together because it's very, very good. I'm happy that you did it, man. I'm not a musician, like I told you before. I don't know how to read music. I don't want to learn an instrument, but music has given me a lot of satisfaction in my life. And of course, because back in the day, right, I was listening to, as I said before, all the electronic music artists that came from your country, from Germany, and this album is very, very good. So, how was the motivation of putting it together? How was receiving the market? Were you selling a lot of albums? I imagine that opened a lot of doors for you, right, to release stuff in the future because it's a very, very good album.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, the idea was, yeah. I finished a lot of, or I had a lot of ideas.
So,
mostly written on little papers, or I capture often my ideas with a video camera because I don't write down the notes.
really?
Yes, I don't like it. It's too much work for me, and I cannot describe what I'm playing with the notes. Yeah,
Sure.
it's not enough to bring it to a sheet of paper because yes, it's easier to me make a record it and then see and then I yes now in beginning of the year I put all ideas together.
Yeah.
Had my notice and my videos, and then I started recording. Maybe some ideas failed and other ideas come extra for this album. And yes, it was a very creative time in I think it was January, February. Yes, and in this two months, I had a lot of pieces together, and yes, the idea for the album was here, and yes, the most difficult part of this one was bring all the pieces together in the right direction, and that makes sense as an album. And yes, now we have the 12 tracks.
Yeah, that's a great. When you release the album, the critics in your country they like the stuff.
Yes, I had a lot of pre-orders, especially for
reviews. Yeah,
and but it's difficult. In my opinion, it's from year to year it's more difficult to reach the people.
Why do you think that's the case?
I don't know. They are also bored of the social media. That's so much stuff and more music comes every month. Yeah, you have to put a lot posts out to reach the people. It depends also on the social media platforms. Maybe 10% of the fans see your posts. Other ways you have to pay it. It's not good for artists.
But on Bandcamp, you sell I don't need to know the amount, but you sell several albums on a weekly basis, on a month. How is that
Yes.
platform for you?
Yeah, this is my best platform
Hmm.
for selling my music, my albums. And I have also my own shop, and I have record shops in Germany. I send my records to them. But Bandcamp is one of the best possibilities, I think, also for all the musicians.
As well. Yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, the album is it's very, very good. I have listened to the album probably 5 or 6 times during this weekend when I was putting question for the interview because
Yeah.
it's the third time that I listened to an album, I put my headphone on it and it gave me a different perspective of the album, and it's very good, man. Yeah, very, very good. So, happy for you. Are you able to tour now with that particular album in some smaller, coffee shop or small venue with all the
Yeah,
music?
it was my plan to make a little tour
Yeah,
for releasing this album. But in fact, I had when I had finished the album,
yeah,
was not sure when it will be released because of producing the vinyl. It depends. It's sometimes half of a year, sometimes 3 months. Maybe it can be a longer time. It depends on the pressing plans.
right.
I had in mm, no plan when it comes. So when you have to plan a tour, do you have to the venues and to ask them, and it's difficult to make it in time.
Yeah, because you need the pressing plan may take 3 months. So you
Yes.
coordinate the venue because the idea for you to
So
how you can sell it after the show, right? So
yes, it's
that's the
that's
idea.
true. Um, maybe I make it next year.
Yeah.
Not not as releasing a tour, um, as a simple normal tour, maybe.
Yeah. At least some cities in Germany, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you want to be receptive for two kind of music because it's a very good album. Are you so after you release that album, are you always working new material? Are you doing some pieces here and there for an album in hopefully 2025 or?
Um, at the moment, I have the album finished and more focused on the distribution and interact with my fans and so on. But I have some tracks are not released on this album. They are over. Yeah, it was too much music for one album. I have had to reduce it on 12 tracks, and the other ones are here, are finished. Maybe I send them to another label.
Yeah.
It's maybe it's a good idea to reach other fans, more other people.
Yeah.
Or yes, it's coming new ideas and more things I would like to make. In the meantime, I recorded my ideas like I do it.
Sure.
But the next album, maybe it takes a little more time than, but I cannot say.
Yeah. Are you good for you? Is it difficult to make a living in your world, like
No,
the after music or?
To make a label it's easy, I think.
Yeah.
It's yes, I have my other labels,
Yeah.
and how I know how to do it. So once more is for me not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
in terms of living, making a living, it's difficult to make a musician and being a record engineer, or
from alone from the music. I think
yeah,
it's not possible.
no possible. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Main comes from mastering, and yes, from the music, it's very difficult. I
Cool.
have also my techno projects, and from time to time I playing in clubs, but not so much like the years before the pandemic.
That's cool.
So it's good for me. I have more time for my new music. But yes, I'm
Okay.
working in both worlds.
Got it, got it. Feel free to mention where the listener of this podcast can mention your Bandcamp or your website where people can buy your music, and I will be putting links as well. So
Yes, you have the links to Bandcamp, to Facebook, Instagram.
yeah,
I'm
people can buy your music that way, and in your own website, in the store
my own
section.
website. It's nodfeld.de,
Yeah,
and yes, in Bandcamp.
as well can find you, and I will put the links as well
Yeah,
there, so you can
it's
get a hold of you and buy your music. Alex, it was very nice talking to you. Your music is great, and I see the progression between cloud code, and then off, and then and then the latest Oscillation album, which is very good, very very good. So keep up the good work. Hopefully, we can see you maybe one day touring in here in the United States, or at least in Europe, in Germany, your own country, no. And hopefully we'll see another album in next year in 2025.
yes,
Your
yes,
music is great, man.
yes.
It
Next
was
one, it's sure something in the future.
in the future. Gotcha.
Yes.
With
I so
yeah,
much ideas, other instruments, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, all right. It was very nice talking to you, Alex. Very good luck to you, and we'll stay in touch. I'm interested in getting a hold of some of your music as well, physical thing. I don't like to download stuff, so thank you very much. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you too.
No problem. Thank you.